elected ANC leaders in KwaZulu-Natal are to visit former President Jacob Zuma at his home in Nkandla. They're doing so a month after being elected to the party's provincial conference. Now, Zuma, who's on medical parole, still faces corruption charges linked to the arms deal. Last month, the new ANC KZN Top 5 visited former President Thabo Mbeki. For more on this story, we've got senior reporter Nkandla Goge, who joins us from KZN. A very good morning to you, Nkandla Goge. These executives seeking wisdom from the former president of the state. What kind of wisdom are they looking for? Something to do with the 2024 elections, perhaps, and really just what the ANC needs to do to have a fighting chance?
Most probably, I guess that will be on the agenda as to what will happen come 2024. They will need all their big guns to campaign for 2024, and in KwaZulu-Natal, former President Jacob Zuma is known for campaigning for the ANC, even during difficult times when some people were questioning his participation, saying he shouldn't campaign because he is quote-unquote tainted. He has campaigned for the ANC vigorously, and the newly elected leadership of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal has already met with former President Thabo Mbeki. This is a continuation of meeting with former leaders of the ANC. Last month, they were in Johannesburg. Not only that, but they have also met with other key strategic stakeholders in KwaZulu-Natal, one of those being Amazulu King, Misuzulu Kazwelithini, and they have also met with the leadership of the Nazareth Baptist Church. They met with Unyazi Lwezulu, Inkosi Mduduzi Shembe recently. Let's find out from Mr. Bheki Mtolo, who's the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, as to what is the gist of their visit. Nkandla, thank you very much for your time, wisdom and guidance from former President Jacob Zuma. What is it that you actually want to get out of this visit?
No, thanks very much, and greetings to your viewers. You will know that President Zuma, it's a former president of the ANC, he's a former head of state, but he's got a lot of experience from the underground structures of the ANC, from exile experience, and then to work with all stakeholders in society, various political parties. You remember when he dealt with the issues of bringing peace to KwaZulu-Natal, working with people who are prominent, like Dr. Nelson Mandela, working with Ushenge, Umdalanga Pindangene. They were able to say, no, let's put beyond the interests of our political parties because the country needs us now. We need to put the past behind us, and they were able to sit down as leaders, and then they bring peace about in KwaZulu-Natal. Today we are here in Nkandla, we are living in a free country, in a free province because of their efforts. Then we want to get all those things and then tell us how to navigate with those complex situations, because those things are not easy. Then as a new leadership, as a young generation, we ought to temper from that wisdom, and it's important for us.
2024 is fast approaching. Will you be using former President Jacob Zuma to campaign for the elections in KwaZulu-Natal, as we see the Deputy Chairperson of the ANC, Nomagugu Simelane, also arriving here? Will you be asking the former president to participate politically in campaigning for the ANC come 2024?
Yes, of course, depending on his health and his energy. But let's hope that God will help us. When that time arrives, we'll be energetic, and then we'll work with everybody, including the former president and all ANC members that are there to campaign, all our supporters, all prominent people that seek to achieve the agenda of building a better life for all our people. We'll work with them to make sure that we confront the elections head on.
Your conference resolved to continue supporting him when he appears in court. He's facing fraud and corruption charges, but also to preserve his legacy. Talk to us about those resolutions, in particular your support as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal for the former president. What makes you think that his legacy is not being preserved?
No, it's not about his legacy not being preserved. You remember in 2012, the ANC adopted a program where were going around all over the country and preserving the legacy of all ANC former president. It's a continuation of that program. And then you'd know that when he came into government in 2009, one of the massive things he did, President Zuma's administration, he spent about 1 trillion in infrastructure development, focusing on rural development. He rolled out a massive ARV program. He built 2 universities within a short space of time. He increased the NSFAS funding around, I think, from around 3 billion to 15 billion, the access to higher education. Then it's a legacy that it can. But beyond that, you remember he served 10 years in Robben Island, fighting for the people of South Africa, bringing about justice to our country. And he left the country. He really did everything for us to be free today.
Some of your critics are saying, they include NEC member Derek Anekom, who's questioning your leadership collectively. He says you are visiting someone who's facing fraud and corruption charges, a parolee. He asks, what kind of guidance do you need from such a person?
The problem, Baba Ukokuguti, we see when a lion hunts and aims at a buffalo, you can't allow the lion to be diverted by an antelope. They normally don't do that. That's what you are asking me to do.
I'm asking you to respond to criticism of those who are questioning your visit to the former president.
I'm saying a lion, when it hunts, it targets a buffalo. It stays focused to a buffalo. Then you can't allow the lion to be diverted to look at the antelope that is passing by. We are not going to do that.
But it will be advisable perhaps to respond to such criticism and explain to those who are questioning you.
We don't respond on worthless things. We respond on things that are worthful.
Former President Jacob Zuma is due back in court sometime pending the finalization of the matters that are before courts regarding his applications for leave to appeal, going all the way to the Constitutional Court. He is due back in Pietermaritzburg for his fraud and corruption case. As the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, will you be mobilizing ANC members and supporters to go and support him in court?
We will support him as the ANC. Fully, as the ANC will support him because we believe in his innocence. We'll support him until a court of law says otherwise. Until now, it's innocent in terms of the rule of law of the country, in terms of the constitution of the country, in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act of the country, is that he stays accused but innocent until otherwise is proven in a court of law. But anyway, it's an 8-year-old man. I don't know why should we obsess ourselves harassing an 8-year-old man. It's a shame to ourselves, really. As a country, we must be shameful.
Let's talk about reports that you as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal are trying to bring together former President Jacob Zuma and former President Thabo Mbeki to smoke the peace pipe, if we can use that term. Is that true? Are you facilitating a meeting between the two?
They have never quarreled. President Thabo Mbeki and President Zuma, they have never quarreled. By the way, people, they don't know. Those leaders have served in the NEC from 1970s up until, and they've been working together in the NEC. In 1991, when they came back, they were elected in the NEC. When President Thabo Mbeki in 1994 was elected national chair and all that, they've been changing positions, and then national chair, deputy president. They've been working together. They presented a report. You remember in 2005 or 6, they presented a report to the NEC.
That was before the fallout.
No. That was during the perceived fallout. They sat down and presented a report that there's nothing between them. That report is still there.
But surely there is something between them.
There's nothing between them. It only exists in our heads. It's not practical. It's not objective. You can't tell me what is it that exists between them. Tell me, what is it that exists between them? Nothing exists between them.
They do not see eye to eye.
No, they do see eye to eye.
They have not been working together for a very long time since former President Mbeki was recalled. He has not participated in the political affairs of the ANC when former President Jacob Zuma was in charge.
No, but that doesn't mean they don't work together. They don't see eye to eye. I'm saying it exists only in the people's heads.
Are you bringing them together, though?
No,
even with what is perceived?
No, they are together.
They are not.
They are sitting the NEC together. They sit in the NEC together. They are together. Then don't make them quarrel when they are not quarreling.
It's not me. It's what is happening out there. But let's talk about the delegation that you are bringing here. We understand that regions will also be sending 5 representatives each. How many people are going to see the former president, and the breakdown of the structures that are coming here?
Yeah, now at 10 o'clock it's about us as provincial officials, 5 officials. Then 2 o'clock it's regions, officials of regions, 11 of all our 11 regions, then the provincial working committee.
Thank you very much for your time, Baba.
Thank you very much.
That is Peggy Mtolos, the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, unpacking the newly elected leadership's visit to former President Jacob Zuma in Nkandla.
Looking for wisdom and saying that it's shameful that people are bothering an old man in his 80s. Very interesting conversation there, Nkandla, and I'm looking forward to engaging you further as you speak to more of these executives that are making their way to Nkandla. Thank you very much. That is senior reporter Nkandla out in KZN in Nkandla, awaiting details of the meeting that will be had by the KZN provincial executive as well as the former president of the state.